Despite vigorously rubbing my eyes, the scene before me remained unchanged. The moment my eyes focused, I did not just do a double take, but a triple take. What unfolded before me was the transformation and expansion of our house, appearing entirely different from its previous state. My name is May, a 43-year-old working housewife, married to Jim for 15 years. Unfortunately, our union had not been blessed with children, but this circumstance allowed us to live contentedly in close companionship. As long as we upheld the promises made before marriage, I believed our bond would remain strong. Having lost my parents at a young age, my in-laws became my surrogate parents. Our relationship had been harmonious, and our house, situated just a 10-minute bike ride from their home, maintained the perfect distance to sustain our connection. However, the balance was disrupted after the sudden passing of my father-in-law. His collapse at home led to his eventual demise in the hospital, leaving my mother-in-law in inconsolable grief. In our efforts to support her, my husband and I took turns caring for her, and over time, she began to recover. Just as life seemed to be returning to normal and my work became busier, an unexpected shift occurred. My mother-in-law's visits to our house escalated significantly, becoming a daily routine without respite. She would arrive during the busy morning hours, letting herself in with a spare key I regretted giving her. Faced with her insistence on looking after the house while urging me to go to work without worry, I found myself pushed out the door daily. Although my intentions were genuine when offering her the spare key for moments of loneliness, her constant presence became increasingly unpleasant. Yearning to discuss the matter with my husband, I discovered he was seldom home when I returned from work. His early departure and late return left me alone with my mother-in-law, who eagerly waited to fulfill her self-imposed role of house caretaker. One day, exhausted beyond words, I returned home to a shocking discovery. As I entered the bedroom to change, I let out a scream of surprise. A massive vase, unseen before, occupied a prominent place beside the bed. Rushing back to the living room, I found my mother-in-law nonchalantly munching on rice crackers, the crumbs scattered on the floor mat. In that moment of surprise, struggling to find my voice, I managed to utter, "Did you go into the bedroom, Mother?" "Yes, I went in." "Did you put that vase there?" "Yes, I put it there." It's a big vase with a Japanese pattern, totally out of place in a Western-style room. I couldn't help but wonder, "What is that thing?" "What do you mean? It's a vase," she responded. "It's obvious by looking. Am I not getting through to her?" I thought, growing frustrated. Now she started eating chocolate. "That's the precious vase a colleague gave me as a souvenir from their overseas trip. But never mind that for now. The bedroom was so bland and uninteresting. The atmosphere is much better now, isn't it? It fits so perfectly, like a vase in its rightful place." My mother-in-law seemed to be enjoying herself. I couldn't comprehend how someone might find a giant vase beside the bed interesting or atmosphere-enhancing. I'd want to question them for a good hour about such an out-of-place vase. So, she brought it here herself, not by delivery. That's impressive, I mused. But this is not the time to be impressed. Are we seriously keeping that vase? My mother-in-law says, "Oh, I'm tired from moving the vase. May, isn't dinner ready yet? Hurry up, please." So, she expected dinner too. I couldn't help but wonder what I had done today. Worked hard moving the vase, is that so? Can you please go home? If this keeps up, I'll get fed up. At first, I thought she was just lonely, but now I don't feel that way at all. May, make sure to prepare rice and meat soup for breakfast. She's bustling around busily, ordering me around. May, where's my lunch money? I'm looking after the house for you. You're so thoughtless. At least vacuum daily. I'm the one getting tired of looking after the house. Don't modern daughters-in-law care for their mothers-in-law at all? Her endless demands were making me want to tear my hair out. Then she suggested, "It's a hassle to go home. I'll sleep in the room with my son, and you, May, can sleep on the sofa." "So, you're staying overnight. That's what I'm saying. Seriously, what kind of punishment is this?" She finally left quietly after I gave her my treasured cookies, her favorite. I'm at my wit's end, Jim. Please do something about your mother. I cried out to my husband, reaching my limit. Well, even if you say so, Mom must be feeling lonely, I guess. I thought that phase was long over, you know? It's like she's trying to take over our house. Saying it out loud seemed to fit the situation best. I had been struggling to describe what was going on, but once I said it, it clicked. Now it seemed like my mother-in-law was trying to take over our home. If things continue this way, it'll play right into my mother-in-law's hands. Oh, forget about the pot. I believe this is a problem, but my husband just frowns at the suggestion. Taking over is an exaggeration. It's fine. She's just looking after the house while we're away. We don't need her for that. We have a home security system. Then should we cancel it? It would save us money. That's not the point. I insist, but my husband just doesn't seem to get it. Even if I ask him to talk to his mother, he always ends up doing whatever she says. It's mother over wife, a mama's boy, huh? Still, my mother-in-law's visits don't stop. She's staying over more and more often. Is her takeover project going smoothly? Why do I have to sleep on the sofa? I miss my bed. Well, there's that. After my father-in-law passed away, we felt sorry for her. Maybe we've been too kind to her. Is this what they call taking advantage of the situation? As I pondered what to do, I was called in by my boss at work. Worried that I might have made a mistake, I went to see what it was about. Think you could go on a business trip abroad, he said. A business trip overseas. A chance to get some souvenir chocolates from a colleague. Away from my mother-in-law's reach. Well, it's not like that. Being selected for an overseas business trip means being seen as promising for the future. That's the unwritten rule in our company. No, it's different. I'm moving up. We couldn't have children, but in return, I devoted myself to my work, and it paid off. It seems God is watching over me. My response, "Of course I am," I immediately said. "Okay, are you sure it's okay? Leaving for a month." "It's fine. Mom's here after all," my husband confidently reassured me. But you see, it's his mother that I'm worried about. When I return for the trip, there might be more pots. My dear, leave the house to me. I won't let anything bad happen. I'll take care of it until you return, my mother-in-law declared with confidence. It's because of you that I'm worried. In the end, the business trip went too smoothly and got extended. Before I knew it, 3 months had passed, and now I'm back home. Oh, how I've missed this place. Yes, it's nostalgic. But why is our house under renovation? I close my eyes for a moment, hoping it's a dream. But when I open them, it's still the same. What I see is my home transformed by additions and alterations. What in the world? I dashed into the house. "Oh, welcome back. You're late." As I entered, my mother-in-law greeted me nonchalantly. "Mother-in-law, what on earth is going on here?" Well, we're remodeling. We needed to make it a 2-family home to live comfortably, a 2-family home. Then my husband appeared. "Oh, welcome back, May. You were gone for a long time. Dinner will be simple tonight." It's not about having a simple dinner. Why am I just back from a business trip, expected to cook dinner? But that's not the main issue. What have you done? Done without telling me. What do you mean? We remodeled for cohabitation. It's better to have a 2-family home, right? Why did you do it without asking me? As I confronted him, my husband had a look as if it was a trivial matter. This house is in my name, isn't it? I can do what I want with it. But still. Oh, come on, stop making a fuss. As I was about to say more, my husband scratched his head in annoyance and looked at me with a changed tone. It's fine, isn't it? It's more convenient to have Mom around. It'll make things easier for you two, so you can focus on your work. And yet, you expect me to cook dinner. Housework is a wife's duty, right? You've been slacking off for 3 months. You can at least do that. I felt a wave of exhaustion hit me at my husband's words. Slacking off? Did he just say that? How busy I was overseas, working from morning till night. I didn't even have time to buy a single chocolate bar despite being abroad. And the torment doesn't end there. Oh yes, I've turned your room into mine. What? So where is my room? Did you add it in the extension? There's no such thing. That extension is entirely my living space. But I wanted a room on this side too, so I turned it into a Japanese-style room. What's with the star at the end? I asked, my eyes wide in disbelief. Then where is my room? That's what I'm saying. You don't have one. A daughter-in-law doesn't need her room. Let's see, if I had to say, your room would be the kitchen. Lucky you. I was speechless. She took over my room for herself. And now, while I'm working, she dares to assign the kitchen as my room. A quiet flame of anger began to smolder within me. Then, my mother-in-law brought out some documents. You earned money on your business trip abroad, right? Here, take care of this. What is this? What does she mean by take care of this? I looked at the documents and nearly fainted. $160,000. The total cost of the recent renovations was written there, and I was shocked at the astronomical amount. I confronted my husband. Hey, how do you plan to pay for this huge amount? We haven't even finished paying off the house loan. How are you going to manage with your salary? We already had a loan for buying this house. And on top of that, I couldn't imagine we could get a loan for another $160,000. Could it be my father-in-law's inheritance? No, that doesn't make sense. There wasn't that much money. As I pondered in confusion, my husband looked at me with an equally puzzled expression. What are you talking about? It's obvious that you're going to pay, May. That's right. May, we're relying on your earnings. You'll have to work hard and earn a lot for our sake. They said it as if it was the most natural thing in the world. In other words, they intended to make me pay the arbitrary renovation cost of $160,000. At that moment, something inside me cooled and then froze over. I was done. These two were no longer needed in my life. Clang, clang, clang. It felt like I heard the gong signaling the end of a match. So shall we proceed to a no-holds-barred brawl outside the ring? My actions after that were swift. I took the luggage I had brought back from the business trip and left, ignoring their attempts to stop me. I booked a room in a business hotel and started taking action. The next day, I returned to the house. The sight of the changed home brought a wave of sadness. As I stood there, my husband came out seeing me. May, where the hell have you been, and what have you been doing? I just had some errands to run. Forget about that and take care of the house. The construction isn't finished yet, and there's a lot to do. I glanced at my yelling husband and entered the house without a word. Hey, he chased after me, flustered as I ignored him. Oh, May, where were you last night? We had steak specially. Oh yes, here's the bill for the meat. Since you weren't here to eat it, it's your responsibility to pay. You left on your own after all. I was handed the receipt. Slowly, I took it, and then I tore it. Rip, who, rip, who, rip. I tore it into 2, then 4 pieces, scattering them all around. Then I blew the shredded pieces of the receipt towards my mother-in-law. What are you doing, May? Even if you tear it up, I remember the amount. Shut up, be quiet. My response to my hysterical mother-in-law was undoubtedly cold. Overwhelmed by my demeanor, she quieted down, making a strange noise in her throat. Hey, May. Sensing something unusual in my aura, my husband cautiously spoke to me. Ignoring him, my mother-in-law yelled at me. What's with that attitude? Modern daughters-in-law are just fine. I'll forgive the steak bill, but make sure you pay the $160,000 for the renovation. Why should I? Why? Because you're the daughter-in-law, existing to serve your mother-in-law and husband. At those words, I snorted derisively. I won't pay. We are strangers now. My husband was shocked by my words. In front of him, I slammed a piece of paper on the table. This is a copy of the divorce papers. I've already submitted the original. What surprised my husband was when he picked up the paper, and it was exactly as I had said. Do you remember what we promised before we got married? I asked. Let me think. What was it? The promise my husband and I made before marriage was that if either of us betrayed the other, we would immediately divorce. We prepared divorce papers as a kind of talisman, thinking it would never come to actually submitting them. But now, I'm glad I had been prepared. I had kept the divorce papers in a safe deposit box and submitted them yesterday. Since we are now strangers, there's no need for me to pay any money. I just came to pick up my things today. I've already found a new place, so I'll leave once I've packed my belongings. What? Wait, May, this is a joke, right? A joke? The biggest joke was thinking you were my husband. Why should I live with people who mock me? But we're married. Not anymore. Marriage is about discussing and deciding important things together. Someone who makes major decisions alone like you isn't a husband. Why don't you live happily with your beloved mom? But. My cold words made my husband break down in tears. But it was too late for regrets. It's good to care for one's mother. However, that should be balanced with caring for one's wife. The moment he disregarded me and followed his mother's wishes, our marriage was over. This house is in your name, right? I saw the estimate yesterday, and the contract is under your name. Good luck paying back the $160,000. What? I waved my hand cheerily as he collapsed to the floor in shock. As I started gathering my things, my mother-in-law grabbed my arm. Hold on, May. You can't just do as you please. I don't need your permission. It doesn't matter what a stranger thinks of me. As she was at a loss for words, I remembered something and handed her an item. Here, as a housewarming gift for the renovation. Be sure to display it in your room. What is this? It's a vase. I placed a palm-sized vase in my mother-in-law's hand. It was oddly colorful, oddly shaped, and had a particularly mediocre design. The most time-consuming task yesterday was finding this vase. Believe it or not, it cost $1. You're lucky, aren't you, mother-in-law? Stop joking around. What about the $160,000? Well, I'm just a stranger now. As my mother-in-law cried out with tearful eyes, I, laughing to tears myself, quickly packed my belongings and left the house. What happened after that? Well, the two of them, who had completely relied on my income, seemed to be living quite poorly. They couldn't possibly make payments on the original loan plus an additional $160,000. My mother-in-law sold her own house, but it didn't amount to much and was far from enough to cover the costs. As for my husband, he was already dealing with reduced pay due to poor business performance. The shock of our divorce might have contributed to him making repeated mistakes at work. He was demoted, resulting in a significant salary decrease. I remember receiving messages from him filled with pleas. Please, please help me. I can't pay the loan, and they're going to seize the house. My mother's behavior has been strange lately. She accuses me of being a thief, wanders around the neighborhood. It seems they might have to let go of the house, and with that shock, my mother-in-law was probably seeing his messages. I replied briskly, "Work hard for your mom, who's more important to you than your wife," and then I set my phone to block his calls. As for me, work was going well. My skills were recognized, and it seems I might soon be offered an overseas position, not just a business trip. Freed from the ill-fated ties, a bright future surely awaits me. Looking up at the contrails in the sky, I took a deep breath. I had already submitted the original. What surprised my husband was when he picked up the paper. It was exactly as I had said. Do you remember what we promised before we got married? Let me think. What was it? The promise my husband and I made before marriage was that if either of us betrayed the other, we would immediately divorce. We prepared divorce papers as a sort of talisman, thinking it would never come to actually submitting them. Now, I was glad I had them prepared. I had kept the divorce papers in a safe deposit box and submitted them yesterday. Since we are now strangers, there's no need for me to pay any money. I just came to pick up my things. Today, I've already found a new place, so I'll leave once I've packed my belongings. What? Wait, May, this is a joke, right? A joke? The biggest joke was thinking you were my husband. Why should I live with people who mock me? But we're married. Not anymore. Marriage is about discussing and deciding important things together. Someone who makes major decisions alone, like you, isn't a husband. Why don't you live happily with your beloved